Hey, what's going on? It's Money Mike. Welcome to the show. This is Waiver Wire, where we go and talk about injuries and get your team right, for the next following season based on the injuries that happened today. Today is I want to welcome a special guest. I got Stat Pat from the Profanity Nation.
Yeah,
How you
man.
doing, Pat?
Hey, it's fun, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got to see what's going on, man. You got to get these teams right. So I have Marco NUNOZ from Evolve Athletic, former Laker head athletic trainer. He's the one that's going to go over all these injuries that happened today and give updates on players that weren't able to come out suit up tonight. Marco, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Crazy week, huh?
It's an interesting week. We have a lot of I know a lot of injuries to key players. Specifically, we had I think two major running backs. Injuries to major running backs. I know if you have them on your lineup, you were concerned.
Why all my running backs getting hurt? I don't understand. I got David Montgomery, so why? That's what I don't understand. Like I got Herbert on the team. He's hurt, and I kept playing him. He didn't play well. Man, we're gonna get into everything. Let's talk about David Montgomery. He's on my team. He got a knee injury and a foot injury. Like he got a combo thing. What's going on with him?
He did. So they haven't really specified exactly what the injury is. They came out with a knee and foot injury type of thing. So I'm wondering if either some player two kind of collapsed on him type of thing. From my understanding, everything that I'm reading, all the reports out there is that they're stating that it's not that bad as it appeared, so to speak. But either way, I expect them to do an MRI on both the knee and the foot, either sometime on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and then see exactly what's going on in that part. So for updates on that, make sure you guys tune in on follow us on the Waiver Wire podcast Instagram account, where I'll go post on those daily and even daily reports. As soon as the reports come out, I'll post them as far as what's going on that part. So bottom line, as of right now, they're going to have him questionable for week 4 of the an NFL season type of thing. Now, the obvious kind of waiver wire pickup that kind of we talked about earlier, right before on here, would be his backup running back, which is Khalil Herbert. But I think Stat Pat, you had mentioned already that Khalil Herbert was already getting some touches anyways already, even before this.
Yeah, so he was getting touches last week, and it was almost going to be like a close of a timeshare or running back by committee. So they were telling you to get him then.
Yep.
Now this was before the injury. Now he's a must. You got to get him. If he's available in your league, you got to get him on your roster.
Yeah, one way or another, you can put him down on flex. Now, I have David Montgomery in 3 of my leagues.
Right.
And the reason why I got him is because the Chicago Bears are run heavy, and everything before was about get David Montgomery. And I remember he took, I think, 1 touchdown last week, Khalil Herbert, and I think he took another one this week before Montgomery got hurt right off the bat. So I'm not a fan of committees, so I'm a little kicking myself in the behind right now on this one, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about that though, when someone has an injury, and obviously we're going to hear more updates about it later on this week. Even if they are healthy and starting, because they have an injury, they may not play the whole game.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's some of the concerns that you have, and I think these are some of the players that we're going to be talking about down the list. That even though they may come here and play, they may not be 100% or 80, 90%. So they may not get the full touch. So you kind of have to be worry about how many touches they're going to get as they're coming back from the specific injury. And that's something I think you and I talked about Dak Prescott last week about that, when they expect him to return as early as 3 weeks. But even then, if he does come back in 3 weeks, the odds of him being Dak Prescott are very limited. So you still have to be very cautious even starting him as soon when he comes back in the first game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's cool. Look, another player I got on my team, man. I thought I had a good team, man. I still think I do, but they got to perform, man. So Josh Allen, he had a hand injury, but he said that he's good and the X-rays are negative. You think he'll be able to be starting on my team next week?
Yeah. So the one thing I'm trying to figure out is that they haven't really said, and I haven't been able to find out whether it's his throwing arm or his non-throwing arm type of thing. So that's the one thing I'm trying to do a little research on. If it's his non-throwing arm, then he should be good. They'll probably put a little padding on his hand type of thing. On the outside, he still needs to have the grip from from the palm of his hand, and he should be straight to go type of thing. Or if it is his throwing arm, then we have to be a little bit worried about that he might have a little bit of a contusion or bruise, and gripping the ball may aggravate it a little bit type of thing. But similar to all these other ones, it's just a matter of waiting and see how he progresses throughout the week. If he starts throwing by Thursday, Friday, he should be set to go.
So Pat, knowing what you know right now, would you start Josh? Would you?
Yeah, you got to keep starting. Unless they say he's out, he's always, because he's so vital to the offense with the passing game, but also the running game. So you got to keep him in the lineup. Unless they say he's out, he's always ready to blow up at any point. So you got to make sure that you always have him in your lineup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna try to hold on to him as long as I can, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the backup quarterbacks out around the league, that would be available now. I don't think there are any good options. I mean, they're hit and miss. That's what I hate about those.
Yeah, there's nobody that's going to give you that same production on the bench at all. Even halfway of him is going to give you more than anything on the waiver wire right now.
Even if for some reason he does not play week 4, you do not drop him.
Right.
You do not drop Josh out.
100%.
No way.
100% not. So let's go on to Dalvin Cook. Dislocated shoulder. He had a previous dislocated shoulder issues, but he did good last time. So do we think we're going to have the same?
And this is something we talked about right before the podcast started. So, and I remember this because I had him on my fantasy football league last year. So Dalvin Cook sustained what's called a shoulder dislocation. So now one of the injuries he has is what's called a labrum tear to his shoulder. So the way it works is you have the shoulder socket, you have the humerus, and in here there's a little cartilage in there that he has a tear. Now the interesting part about it is that he sustained the injury last year. He chose not to have surgery during the off season. Now, last year, he was expected to miss some time, but surprisingly, he played the very next game. And I think I was telling you guys, I know this because he went out for over 100 yards and still got 2 touchdowns the very next game, type of thing. But the question is, did he do any additional damage to that shoulder? That's what we need to find out. They'll probably do an MRI. If it's pretty much the same thing as last time, they'll probably throw in what's called a stabilization strap on here, a little brace on there, and see if he can kind of go type of thing. The interesting part about this is that even if he does not practice at all this week, it doesn't matter because still Dalvin Cook, he can still be ready to play on Sunday. I mean, missing practice from a week, it's not the end of the world for a player like him type of thing. So we have to just wait and see. I mean,
let me ask you one follow-up question on that. So he had his injury last year and he did not have any surgery on it.
Correct.
So do you think it fully healed without surgery?
Not in the cartilage part type of thing. So it won't heal, but what they've done is you do rehab in the shoulder. You build the muscles that kind of stabilize the shoulder to kind of reduce the risk of injury. Now, because he has that, he is at a high risk of dislocating it again, and hence that's why he needs to wear that brace. And outside, he's going to probably wear the brace for the rest of the year type of thing. I'm surprised that he didn't have it. In a way, it's kind of good. His shoulder probably felt really good that he's like, hey, I don't need it. But in this case, as soon as he fell on it, someone moved it around, it kind of went out.
All right. Well, Dalvin Cook, I'm still keeping him, right? We rolling with him until we get somebody else?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool,
I'll get rid of him.
All right, Mac Jones, let's go to him real quick. Now, he has a high ankle sprain. Ooh. I hate high ankle sprains. I hate them. Yeah. But I don't, and I hate the Patriots, so I don't care so much about this. But, we still got covered. Somebody like him.
Correct. So the high ankle sprain, if you're a Laker fan, you can relate this to what happened to LeBron James last year. Now, typical high ankle sprains, you tend to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Now, the only positive thing on this case is that Mac Jones isn't a mobile quarterback. He's not a running quarterback. He just kind of stays in the pocket. So you can potentially expect him back as early as 3 weeks. And what the training staff will do is they'll just tape pardon my French, take the crap out of the ankle, stabilize it, and as long as it stays in the pocket, he should be fine. If he tries to run, then he might have the discomfort. But normally, 4 to 6 weeks is a normal time of return for a high ankle sprain around that ballpark. So he's going to be out at least 2 weeks minimum.
So you don't care. You're a Raider fan like me. You don't care about Mac Jones.
No,
we'll go on for it. Garrett Wilson. He has injuries to his ribs. He was not able to return.
He was able to return.
Oh, he was able to return. So do you think this is one of the cartilage injuries or?
No, so it looks like he just had a rib contusion. He was able to play through it, type of thing. So the fact that he was able to play through it this week, I expect him to be back in week 4 with no issues.
Okay, cool. So we have him probable. He's not really a high volume guy. He kind of, Flacco throws all over the field. So yeah. I mean, I guess he's. What do you think, man? You think you gonna play him next week?
Oh yeah, like I said, with most of these guys, there's nobody that's going to get the production that he's going to get right now. So I like him. He's still, he's one of the most dynamic of players that they have on their team. So
I agree.
So you always got to take that in consideration when they have the game plan because he's the most explosive. So and he's able to see he gets touchdowns. So and that's always valuable. So I would keep him on my lineup.
AJ Green, let's go moving right along. Knee injury. He really ain't been doing good. He ain't been doing a whole lot of production. I have him on my team, but he's not. He's been on the bench all year because I've been waiting for him to actually perform. And so he got a knee injury. I guess he ain't performing no more. Huh?
Correct. So yeah. So I mean, AJ Green, unfortunately, is not the AJ Green from like 5-6 years ago with Cincinnati Bengals. He was like a top 5 receiver. You drafted him up there. He's kind of hanging on there for a couple more years or so, type of thing. Now, as far as the knee issue, they haven't really stated as far as what the knee issues. And this is kind of very similar to who's the other receiver with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Julio Jones. He was also out for a knee issue. Now, what this tells me, and they haven't really specified, is that as a veteran player, you play football. You have some knee issues, meaning you have some arthritic issues, maybe a little swelling, a little tendinitis. So this is kind of wear and tear from playing football for so many years, type of thing, which is kind of expected with these kind of older athletes. But like you said, he hasn't produced heavily this year. So I'm not saying that the Arizona Cardinals are not going to miss him, but
yeah,
correct.
Well, let's talk about a major one again. Somebody that's on my team. I have 4 fantasy teams, so that's why I have so many of these players. I thought I did a good draft. So Justin Herbert, like you predicted, he was going to be able to play. He did his 10 days. I was proud because I was like, okay, they moved him to healthy, went out there, and that dude, he just stunk it up today. So
yeah. And that's the thing about it. I think we talked about it last week is that one, I give him credit. He gave it a go and he went out there, and I'm sure he was still, in some discomfort whatsoever. Rotating, throwing it. I'm sure they put a flat jacket on him to protect the ribs, type of thing. But he just wasn't himself. You can tell right off the bat he wasn't throwing the long ball. He wasn't mobile. He wasn't able to rotate. I'm sure he still had some discomfort every single time here or there in the game. But I'll give him full credit to try to kind of go and be out there with the team. And then that's a downside to this is that when an athlete does tend to go on the part, it's one of those things. Well, you're going to go, which is that's awesome, but are you going to be limited?
Right. So I heard that they might have been trying to give him like a shot in the ribs for discomfort, but I wonder what do you think? Is that the same guy that was there with Tyrod?
I don't know
because if he is there, I understand why that I try to do that.
Yeah, but here's the thing though: there's no Justin Herbert behind him.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
I mean, Justin Herbert was the number 6 pick of the draft, so
yeah,
they haven't done that. There's no need to do that again.
So, right? Yeah. So, but if it's the same guy, you're not allowing him to punch your lung.
No. Okay. Not with the franchise quarterback.
Not the
franchise.
Unfortunately, like you guys were talking about last year, if I don't know if any of the viewers remember, last year the starting quarterback with the San Diego Chargers was Tyrod Taylor, and he had sustained a rib contusion. And oftentimes, what you can do is the physicians will do an injection in that area to try to kind of numb the area or reduce the pain. Unfortunately, what happened is, I think the physician went a little too deep and they accidentally punctured Tyrod Taylor's lungs. So he kind of had to sit out for a couple of weeks. And I think that's pretty much gave the opportunity for Justin Herbert to jump in and kind of.
He got Tom Brady.
Yeah,
he got Tom Brady. Yeah, basically.
Rest is history. Yeah.
Right. He's like, who was Bledsoe? Nobody.
Who Bledsoe?
Yeah.
Right. A couple more here.
Yep.
Let's go over to Tua. Now, I was watching that game. I saw him. It wasn't a real hard tackle, like he kind of just got pushed down. But I saw him get up and then fall back again. I said, oh, it's a wrap. but then he stayed in the game. So they got to, they have him a concussion or back injury. Which one is it, Marco?
So this is a little interesting type of thing also. So the initial report, I think, was that he had suffered a concussion during the game. From what I remember, they took him back. They did an assessment in the locker room. I'm assuming that he passed the concussion assessment, so they were able to kind of bring him back. Now, a little controversy on this part. I was reading an article today. I think it's out there on the internet where the NFLPA is looking for an investigation as to what happened. Was it a concussion? Was it more of a back injury? Now, when I went back and did a little more research, I wasn't able to find anything as far as concussion, and everything came back as a back injury. So there's still a little.
So he has a back injury right now.
There's a little iffiness going on that part.
When he got up, he was a little woozy.
Yeah,
and I don't know you get woozy on the back injury.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see the video. He got hit. He got up. He tried walking, and then he just kind of collapsed downward type of thing. So that was a little concerning. Yeah. From my aspect, from a kind of sports medicine athletic trainer.
Yeah. Right. So Los Angeles Rams, the Rams really, they haven't had any major injuries lately. So this is the first one. He had knee surgery during the preseason, and I'm sorry, Van Johnson, Van Jefferson. He had knee surgery during preseason. He's placed on IR. They got him out for 4 weeks. What do you think? Like, is he going to come back in those 4 weeks? Because I know Ramsey was asking for Odell.
So yeah, you're right. So Van Jefferson, from my understanding, he had a minor surgery procedure in the offseason, which is more of a cleanup type of thing. So they've officially put him in IR, and the reason why we're on there for 4 weeks is that when an athlete goes on IR, he has to be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. So at this point, your two main receivers with the Rams are either, of course, Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp type of thing. Like you mentioned, there's talks about Odell Beckham that you kind of brought up from that point.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I know it was funny. I was watching a press conference, and on the press conference, they were saying that Odell come back right in the press conference. So let's go over to the Green Bay Packers with Sammy Watkins. He had a hamstring injury. They got him out for 4 weeks. So that got to be more than a stage 2, at least a stage 2 hamstring strain, right?
Correct, 100%. So the fact that they've automatically put him on IR, and like I said, when an athlete goes on IR, he has to be out a minimum of 4 weeks. And if they do that, you're basically assuming that he sustained a second-degree hamstring strain. Usually a second-degree hamstring strain could go anywhere from minimum 4 weeks to about 6 weeks, maybe even potentially 8 weeks type of thing. So the fact that he's on IR, he most likely has a second-degree hamstring. They haven't disclosed that, but I would not be surprised because they put him on IR.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Look, those are all most of the injuries or the major injuries for this week. We're going to get into some injuries that happened last week and get some updates on that for right after a couple of commercials, guys. So we'll be right back with you.
Hi, I'm Renee Starms of the Starms Agency. Do you know why 97% of startups fail? It's because they don't have the proper exposure. So for the first time ever, Infanity Studios and the Starms Agency have come together to provide you with the Little Guys Big Marketing Package. Now, this is for local Los Angeles businesses who are ready to launch, relaunch, or simply expose their business to grow. With this package, you're going to receive 6 months of online and offline marketing tactics in a customized plan for your business. You're also going to get a professional TV quality commercial filmed in an 1,800 square foot studio with multiple screening options. So if you're ready to grow, go ahead and click that link. We also have financing available. I'm looking forward to chat with you. Click the link and let's go.
All right, welcome, guys. Welcome back, guys. You know, we're gonna go on these updates, but first we have the Hourly Juice. He's asking, "What do you guys think?" We have Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews, and Miko Hartman for Alvin Kamara, Amon-Ra, and Gabe Davis. Now, listen, I've been watching this. See, here's the problem with, and this is just my little 2 cents. Every time you watch. What's that show? Hard Knocks. Every time you watch Hard Knocks, right, you fall in love with that team. It doesn't matter who it is, right? And Amon-Ra St. John, he's a USC St. Brown. He's a USC product, and he's balling. No, I'm not. Me personally, with him in there, I would definitely try to get him because if you have Tyreek Hill, Tua's out. So, you know, who's gonna pass to him? So
okay. I'm keeping all that. I'm not trading for that.
Well, he has Tyreek. He has
Tyreek Hill, he has Mark Andrews, and he has Hartman. Now, Tyreek Hill, when he comes back, he's still that guy that can blow up for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. When Tua's on the field, he's just number one guy and he can ball. Okay. I know this today he didn't have a really, really blow up day, but he has that ability. Mark Andrews is probably the number one, if not the number one or number 2
he had 2 touchdowns today
in fantasy right now. So you're giving up a position that you have of strength that you have over your whole league. There's nobody else has a better player than that in that slot that's going to be playing. So you're going to win that matchup every time. Your tight end is always going to be the best tight end in that whatever game you play. Even when you play against Kelsey, they're going to look for your team, your tight end to do more. So you got Tyreek, you got number 1 tight end, and McCall Hartman has that flexibility because he has Mahomes throwing to him. Now, of course, you got Kamara. He's a good running back. Number 1 running back for the Saints. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, which has established himself. Gabe Davis is the one that's kind of like, if he's healthy, is he going to eat like you want him to? Because he has Stephon Diggs on the other side, but he has that ability. And we saw in the playoffs where he had some rapport with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'm just giving up. I don't like giving up Andrews. I just don't like that. I think that's a probably good trade across the board, but I don't like giving up.
So Andrews. Yes and no.
To me, I would do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But I can see how on the other side where, if you're getting Amon-Ra St. Brown right now, and a number 1 running back, then you probably would do that.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Marco?
So I guess, and I know we can't communicate with them, but one of the questions I would have is what's his or their running back standing? Do they have a solid running back? Or they have no true solid running back? That's why they're trying to get Kamara on this deal type of thing. But I agree with you. Mark Andrews by far right now is probably the number 1 tight end, even over Travis Kelce. He just had 2 touchdowns. He is Lamar Jackson's guy. When Lamar Jackson's not running the ball for a touchdown, he's looking for Andrews for a touchdown pass. Same thing. Tyreek Hill. You know, him and who's the other receiver down there? Waddle. They're eating.
Yes.
Yeah, he's feeding them type of thing. No question. I was kind of concerned that when Tyreek Hill joined the Miami Dolphins, that maybe Waddle was going to kind of go down, but he hasn't. He has not done whatsoever. The only one that I think has gone down in production is Gesicki. That's about it. But Kamara, St. Brown, Gabe Davis. I mean, like I said, unless I don't have a running back, then okay, I can see why he's trying to get Kamara. But if you already have a solid running back, you keep these 2. And especially if it's a PPR league, you don't want to give up Hill and you don't want to give up Andrew.
Yes.
Right. All right, cool. Let's go back into some updates. So we got Keenan Allen. He has a hamstring strain.
Mm-hmm.
They got a questionable. What we think? You think he's gonna be back suiting up again? He's a player that's on my team.
So this was a little interesting because when the injury happened, I remember they didn't rule him out for week 2, which they played on Thursday, and actually they had reported that it wasn't as bad as they thought it was, and he said that he felt. I think that he comments like, I feel actually I feel pretty good. So there was positive signs that he was going to be able to play. He didn't practice. He was out Thursday. I was surprised based on the information that they were providing that he actually was out week 3.
Yeah.
I expected him to play week 3 based on everything they're talking about.
Yeah.
So now I'm a little more concerned that this might be more of a grade 2 hamstring as far as him being out type of thing for this long. Because usually at grade 1, you're out anywhere between 10 to 14 days type of thing. Yeah. So if that was the case, he should have been. Now, also that is a top receiver. Are they being cautious type of thing? Maybe type of thing. So it's just a matter again of waiting and see how he progresses throughout the week. If he practices and he participates, then I think he should be good for week 4. But even if by Thursday or Friday he's limited, then I don't expect him to play.
Okay, so he's not going to play.
I'm not saying
so
that. We'll
John
see.
Connor, again, somebody else on my team. Yeah. Somebody else on my team got the damn ankle. Man, dude, I was hurting him running back today.
Yeah, so James Conner also had a ankle sprain last week. I'm glad that he was able to participate this week. Now, he didn't practice at all this past week, so I was a little concerned on that part, but he was able to get in there. But you can tell he wasn't himself again. So now the advantage that he has now, he has another 7 days to be able to kind of heal and recover. So I expect him to kind of have his normal role coming up for week 4 type of thing.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Chris Godwin again. Somebody on my bench. He ain't played. I've been waiting on him. When is he coming? Like Tom Brady ain't got nobody to throw to.
Oh my God, Tom Brady has nobody to throw to now.
Right.
Evans is out. Julio Jones is out. Godwin's out.
Yeah.
Perriman, I think, was even hurt type of thing. I think they had to bring Cole Beasley. So Chris Godwin, this is an issue one because Chris Godwin sustained a hamstring strain week 1 of the NFL season. Yeah. Now, he's coming back from an ACL injury. So I think this is what I talked about earlier is that even though it's a hamstring strain, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sports medicine staff is going to treat this more of a grade 2, grade 3, kind of more of a, they're going to be very cautious bringing him back type of thing. So I expect him to be out minimum 2 to 4 weeks. This was the second week. Now, he didn't practice at all whatsoever last week. Like nothing. He didn't even touch the field type of thing whatsoever. So I don't expect him to play week 3. I expect him to maybe start progressing on the field type of thing. And then maybe as early as week 4 is when he should be, and I'm sorry, not week 4,
week 5.
Week 5. I'm sorry. Yeah. Week 5, as early as week 5 is when he may potentially return.
Okay. Now, I don't know what to do with the Raiders, man. I mean, Hunter Renfrow, maybe it's good he had a concussion because he could forget about how we lost the game today. I mean, damn. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a Raider fan.
Hold on, what do you mean we? We is French.
We find ways to lose games, and oh my gosh. Anyway, so this guy has a concussion. We just gotta go ahead and get it. Usually protocol is about a week, right?
So the protocol. So when an athlete sustains a concussion, they go into what's called the NFL concussion protocol. The NBA also has the same concussion protocol, and it's based on the athlete's symptoms. Once the athlete is symptom-free, they progress and kind of return to the field. So everybody's kind of different. Some athletes will become symptom-free quicker in about 3-4 days. Others may take a little bit longer type of thing. So it's just a matter of waiting, seeing how he progresses throughout the week. If he starts practicing in any type of limited capacity, then he should be ready for week 4. But we'll see. It's just a waiting and seeing game on this part.
All right, so the Cowboys don't
real quick though.
Go ahead.
Just for the people that was just in case Renfrow can't go, you might want to stash Hollins and put on your team. He had a big game for the Raiders today. Actually stretches the field, does a lot of different things out of the slot that Renfrow does, but Carr was looking for him. So just keep that in your.
So that's your pickup of the week.
I got another one, but yeah,
right,
that's one. That's one.
All right, cool. We got
that's for Raiders fans pick of the week.
That's right.
Pick of the week. We got to win next week. I don't care who we play, man. I don't know who we play right now. I'm just really depressed. And then Big Baby Jonathan, friend of the show, he's talking crap. I hate it, man. Anyway, Dr. Schultz, this guy, well, he was supposed to be back by now, and wasn't he, with his PCL strain?
Well, here's the thing so he sustained a PCL strain week 2 of the NFL season type of thing. So what they're going to probably do is they're going to give him a little time to rehab. strengthen the knee, reduce some of the swelling in the part. Now, like I mentioned last week on the Waiver Wire podcast Instagram account, is that he has the same injury that Ezekiel Elliott had last year. Ezekiel Elliott was able to play it. A PCL injury, you can't play with the PCL compared to like an ACL injury type of thing in the knee. It's just a matter of rehabbing it, strengthening it, and you kind of go type of thing. So he should be back. I think, what I had estimated is going to probably miss anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks as the team kind of progresses him, rehabs him, strengthens him, make sure the swelling goes down, the pain goes down, and he's going to be able to row. So it's just a matter of waiting to see how he participates this week. So he should be back as early either this upcoming week 4, if not by week 5.
All right, cool. All right, well, we're coming down to the wire here. Marco, you give me one pick of the week.
Oh man, I got 4 picks of the week.
Just give me one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over the stat pad that we got in the show.
All right, so I'm gonna go with wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, Romeo Doubs. He had a great week today, week 3 Sunday with the Green Bay Packers. Went 8 for 8, 8 targets, 8 receptions, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Now the other thing about this guy that I'm talking about is there is Lazard on there, so that he's the other. Lazard's obviously the number 1 receiver, but Sammy Watkins just went in IR. So now, what's the name? Aaron Rodgers doesn't have Sammy Watkins. He still has Randall Cobb, but Randall Cobb is aging. So I have a feeling that, and they were expecting, I think during training camp, they were hoping this guy was going to step up. And so far, he stepped up right now. So I see him as a number 2 receiver. So if this would probably be my waiver wire pick of the week, if he's available, grab him. Because I'm hopefully, in the next 4 weeks, because Sammy Watkins is out, he should be able to get some good production.
All right, cool. Stat Pat, do you have a pick?
Oh, yeah. Hollins from the Raiders. Pick him up.
You already picked him, man.
Oh.
You said you had another one.
Okay, Rondell Moore from the Arizona Cardinals. You got AJ Green is not going to. I mean, even if AJ Green comes back, AJ Green is not the same AJ Green like we talked about. You have, and then there's like somebody should be stepping up because D Hop is still out. So I think D Hop is out for the one more game.
6 weeks total.
6 weeks. Okay,
so he's got 3 more games.
So you need that production. And Kyler Murray is looking for somebody. So I would definitely, that would be my pickup for the week.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100% on that part because the Arizona Cardinals need somebody to replace Christian Kirk from last year, those slot receivers. Yeah. And Rondell Moore is that slot receiver that's going to come in. Now they have Marquise Brown, but Marquise Brown is more of a long ball type of thing. So they need that quick slot receiver. So if Rondell Moore would be a great pickup for this week because he's expected to come back week 4 from a hamstring strain injury.
Yeah. So and if you guys are not endorsing Yahoo, but if you're on Yahoo Fantasy, Romeo Doubs is only on 25% of the league, so he should be readily available. And Rondell, let me check on Rondell, see how he's doing. See if anybody liked him, if anybody picked him up. Rondell Moore, he is 17%.
Nobody's
of all rosters. So
somebody had.
Yeah. So hey, I'm telling you, might as well go ahead and get him if he's available.
Yeah,
guys.
If you're looking for a receiver, either grab Dobbs or grab Rondell Moore.
All right, cool. So hey, that's it for the Waiver Wire this week. We want you guys to tune in on the Waiver Wire Instagram. Follow us. Marco's going to go ahead and give some injury updates as they come in. Tomorrow is always a big day because they do MRIs and we get more of detail into the injuries that come on. Wednesday, tune in to us on Twitter Spaces at the Waiver Wire Twitter, and then you can talk to us live about injuries just before the games on Thursday. Stat Pat, you have anything else to say?
Oh man, I have blasted.
Man, cool. Thank you very much for coming. Hey, Marco, great job, man. Thanks for letting me know when my players are coming back. or not. Hey, that's it. I'm Money Mike, Stat Pat, Marco NUNOZ. That's it for Waiver Wire. See you next week.